Welcome, everyone, to our Wednesday night cruise chat for Canadians. We're delighted to have you join us for another edition of our weekly cruise discussion. We are Vacations for Canadians, 100% proudly Canadian owned and operating travel agency specializing in all things Disney, cruising, and land tours. Wow, what crazy weather we're having, eh? I just learned a new word today. We are having thunder snow here in Hamilton. So I guess that's like a thunderstorm in the winter. Um, yeah, so I hope you're all staying safe and warm wherever you're joining us from. Tonight's lineup features a wonderful panel of experts. We have Karen, Carrie, Trisha, Luke, and Linda. And we have an exciting program planned. Karen's going to be sharing valuable insights on best timing for booking your next cruise. We will have a special giveaway for one of our attendees. And we'll also have our regular open panel discussion where our experts will answer all of your burning questions about cruising. So to participate, just drop your questions in the chat and we'll answer them during our discussion. Thanks for joining us, and I'm going to pass it over to Karen.
Thank you so much. And I see that Rick snuck in as well. So welcome to you on the panel. We've got a big panel tonight, which is very exciting. So we're talking about when to book your next cruise. And this question comes up time and time again. In fact, it was quite timely because last Monday we were doing a Royal Caribbean webinar, and that was one of the big questions: is when is the best time to book? And there's a couple of strategies that we want to share with you this evening about kind of when to get the best deal and what kind of things you might want to consider when you're deciding when to pull the trigger on your booking. So that is our topic this evening. Again, welcome your questions along the way. We'd be happy to answer them either through the presentation or at the end as well. So the first thing to kind of think about is there's two camps of people really when I think about our clients. And you're probably sitting in one of these sides. It could be the planners, or it could be the Sail Soon Club. So thinking a little bit about that will kind of help you decide when the best time to book is, as well as those tricks and tips along the way. So if you were a planner, you're probably sitting there waiting for the itineraries to be released. You're the ones who are emailing us. We say, hey, I think the 2027, 2028 itineraries are starting to be kind of the talk of the town. What have you got? And when are they coming out? You probably also have dates of favorite destinations kind of earmarked. You're maybe going through your bucket list and trying to cross everything off that list. And you also like to take advantage of the early booking discounts and deals. So if that sounds like you might be a planner. Or you might be part of the Sail Soon Club. And they're kind of the opposite side. And you could be a little bit of both here. But you're maybe craving that last minute getaway. This kind of weather really inspires people to get away. They're thinking about, how do I get to that sunshine? How do I put my feet in the sand as opposed to the sleet? And what can I do to grab a cruise that's available right now? And I want to pack my bags and go. They may not have a particular place in mind, or they're wide open to any destination. And they're also very flexible in their cabin options and their departure dates. And I'll tell you why in just a few short minutes. So you could be either one of those two. So maybe you recognize yourself in one of those, or maybe you're a bit of a hybrid. So thinking about, if you are planning a cruise, you need to be a planner if you've got someplace unique on your bucket list or you want to go for your itinerary. So if you joined us last Wednesday, Matt was talking about Japan. And when he was talking about Japan, he was talking about how coveted those itineraries are. There's not tons of them, and it's a very narrow season. So people want to go to Japan. They want to go see the cherry blossoms. You need to book that a year in advance plus. Those sailings are already booked for 2026. So if you are thinking about something that's specific, there's maybe not lots of them, a transatlantic, transpacific, those are ones that you need to be a planner for. And I'll share with you when that planning should take place. As well as if you're traveling over a holiday. So a holiday could be Christmas time. It could be Easter. It could be any of the long weekends that we recognize here in Canada. It could also be things like March break. And remembering that March break that you may have for your school system may or may not be the same for the ones in other areas. So those are the peak times, and they're harder to get those deals last minute if you're not planning ahead. So if you're a planner, you get your choice of cabins because you're looking in advance. So you're looking at those future dates. You're not looking at the last minute deals. You might be wanting to travel with friends and family. If you do, you're probably going to be looking at coordinating maybe joining rooms or looking at getting rooms that are close to one another. The more time you have, the better on those kinds of things. You also can take advantage of the early booking bonuses that the cruise line might be offering and discounts that they have. So for example, when I think about Holland America, if you're booking well in advance, you can not only get the have it all package, but you get the bonus package as well, which includes a few extra things like gratuities. You also can more easily secure those refundable fares. And the biggest part of this, if you're a planner, you can tap into our group rates. So more about that because, big thunder here, more about that because really that group rate is the best way to get your best price, but they're not always available. So to get you the best deal, we want to look at those groups that are essentially and kind of give you some backdoor into what this means when we're talking about group rates. So of course, as you probably know, it's really group space. And it's not meaning that you're traveling in with a whole big group. There's hosted groups where you are kind of more joined to different activities. But in this case, essentially what we're doing is on the very day that these itineraries get released, we are sitting at our computers. As soon as those itineraries become available, we are grabbing group space and locking in that rate. So it's like day one, best rate going. We are scrambling like little elves at Christmas Eve and trying to get the most cabins that we can. Now, keep in mind that not all space on the ship is available for group space. So what that means is there's a limited amount of space that can be grabbed by agents like ourselves. So we have to act quickly, and we have to secure kind of the best itineraries and the best cabins that we think you might be interested in, maybe 6, 7, 8 months down the road or even longer. So you do get your choice of cabin location if you're booking early because, if you want to have a midship or you want to have a specific type of cabin, this is the best time to be looking at it. And essentially what we do is we keep that group space preserved with that locked in rate until we sell out of the cabins or until the cruise line reclaims that space. So of course, for popular destinations, they're not going to let us keep those amazing rates forever. They're going to start taking them back as the ship fills up. That could be 6 months in advance, 5 months in advance. In some cases, if we don't sell the group rates, it could be even sooner than that. So essentially what we're looking to do is make sure that we're offering you the best value for as long as we possibly can. And my last quote seemed like it might have got cut off there, but essentially as the prices increase, you get bragging rights to talk to your friends about the amazing deals that you got. The sooner you book on these ones, the more you can secure that group rate. And of course, as you get closer to sailing, the prices start to tick up because the demand is getting higher and the cabin availability is getting lower. So those group rates are really something to be paying attention to. So a question that we often get is, will my price go up or will my price go down? So if I had a crystal ball, I could answer that question for you. What I can tell you is that the sooner we get to the sailing date, the more likelihood that the price is going to go up. Again, for the reasons I just stated, there's going to be fewer cabins available and a little bit more interest. So if you're looking to go away in February and it's mid-January, there's a good chance that your prices are going to be higher than they are if you would have looked at that exact same cruise itinerary 6, 7, 8 months a year ago, for example. So we don't always know if they're going to be going up or down, but we do know that the group rates are locked in and those prices remain stable up until either the sellout or until those cabins get reclaimed by the cruise line. So the one thing that I always want to keep in mind is that prices do wiggle around. We often see that there's prices that are available today. We post deals and the prices change daily. In some cases, again, that crystal ball would be so handy to have, but unfortunately, it doesn't tell us when those prices are going to shift. Now, we do get sometimes some pre-warning on some sales that are either starting or ones that might be likely to end. And of course, we would advise our clients on that if you're looking at a cruise specifically that might be changing its pricing. But do bear in mind that the prices wiggle around. They're going to be going on the wrong side of things. They're going to be starting to go up higher as we get closer to that sail date. So it is literally a here today, gone tomorrow kind of scenario. So let's now talk about some last minute deals. So kind of going on the opposite side of the planners. So the planners, they're looking at that group rate. They're trying to secure that ahead of time. They're getting that special sailing done. They've got their name on the cabin. They've got their cabin of choice. There's also those last minute deals that we post all the time. Now, Tina is a guru at finding these special deals that happen to be out there that are kind of one-offs. So we see these deals that are posted. It might be for suites at the price of, say, an ocean view balcony, or we see a specific sailing for Alaska that's going like really, really cheap. These are time limited and specific cabin types. So what does that mean to you? Well, it means that you need to be looking at that ad and saying, am I sailing on this ship? Or am I looking at something different? Because if you're sailing on that ship, I'm going to encourage you to act quickly. It happens all the time when a really amazing deal goes out there. And then next thing you know, a few days later, kind of people are thinking about it. They're percolating, talking to their friends. They reach out to one of the agents and all of a sudden that deal is no longer available because that inventory is depleted. It is maybe onesies and twosies or a small handful of cabins that are out there in North American inventory. Those are not exclusive to us. So if you're thinking about going on one of those amazing deals, don't delay. Talk to your agent right away. Have them put a cabin on hold while you discuss it and make a decision quickly. They're also for that specific sailing. So those deals that you're seeing, it might be for Alaska comes to mind. There's been some really great ones out there recently where it's a super cheap price for that specific sailing. Now, of course, if you're looking at a similar sailing at a different time, we can investigate that for you and do some homework. But bear in mind, sometimes the prices don't mirror over. So if you're looking at something that says, hey, if you want to go away this June, here's your price. This is your cabin number. This is how many passengers the deal is for. And here are the perks that we've got noted. That's the package deal. Once you start kind of changing it around, changing the date, changing passengers, sometimes that price is no longer the exact same deal that you thought you were getting because it's a very specific and kind of focused kind of deal. But you can get some incredible discounts. And those are the last minute ones. You see them posted every single day. We usually have about 7 or 8 of them that go out that are just really amazing finds that are kind of near sailing or further ahead for further sailings as well. So that really is the Sail Soon Club that we call. So you would be the ones who are going to be taking advantage of those ship filling sales. So again, they're a little bit closer to sailing. They're not going to be our group rates anymore because those group rates have likely expired. But you do need to be ready to pull the trigger on these ones. You've got to really act fast because they don't last. And they really don't, it happens all the time where, again, people think about it for a while or they're maybe scrolling. They haven't looked at our Facebook feed in a while. Next thing you know, they're saying, hey, this was an amazing deal, exactly what I'm looking for. And it was posted a week and a half ago. There's a really good chance that that deal doesn't live anymore. It's probably either sold out or the price may have adjusted. There's also limited cabins available, so it's the ones that are still there. Now, what that means, if you're particular with what cabin you want to have, so if you like a midship cabin on a specific deck, or again, you're traveling with friends and family who you want to have together, there's a better chance of you getting that cabin guaranteed ahead of time when you're able to pick that specific cabin. Once we get closer to sailing, people have chosen their cabins, so you're going to have to pick with what's still available. And oftentimes that's what we call a guarantee cabin or guarantee stateroom. So probably a term you're familiar with, but essentially what that means is we cannot choose the location or the actual ship or the actual cabin on the ship. So that may mean nothing to you if you really don't have a preference. But if you've got a specific idea of where you'd like to sail, in that case, you're probably going to want to, again, think about the earlier deals where you can choose that because a guarantee stateroom means they will place you wherever in that specific cabin. And you may have maybe a restricted view if you're looking at an ocean view, or you might be on a different area than you prefer to be on. They're usually also non-refundable fares when it comes to those sail soons because, again, you're probably within that time frame where you don't have as much wiggle room. You're past the final payment. So you are committing to that cruise and you're sailing. You're ready to pack your bags and you're going. Again, great deals to be found. But if you're looking at specifically securing that rate today and knowing that you're sailing and going with it, you're better with the group rates. They're not available during that sail soon because, again, they've either sold out or the ships have reclaimed those spots. So essentially what we're trying to encourage is for you to talk to your agent sooner than later. If you've got something in mind, book your holiday now. If you've got a refundable rate, if something changes, if the rates change or you've got a change in plans, we can talk to you about a new sailing that might be more appropriate for you, better timing and whatnot. The closer you are to sailing and getting those group rates in, or the further away you are from sailing and getting those group rates in, the better the value you're going to have. The great thing about that is because those rates are locked in, if you're bringing friends as well with you and you're maybe spreading the word as people often do, they're going to get the same great rate that you got as opposed to being a bit of a kind of like the stock market where it's good today and not so good tomorrow. And we never really know what the prices are going to be for the sailing sooner. So that's the kind of the two big things. So it really is about, thinking about where do I want to go? Is it a unique time or a unique place that I want to go to? If so, earlier is better. Get into those group rates. If you're flexible and you're looking for just kind of a last minute getaway, then by all means, keep your eye on those great deals that we have, because they're going to be the ones that are likely closer to. We do also post some that are further out, of course. We want to also share with you our great group rates. But those really cheap deals that you're seeing are probably ones that are sailing soon with limited cabins that you don't want to delay on if you do see something that catches your eye. No matter who you are, if you're the pre-planner or if you're those flexible travelers, we are fond of all of you and really want to help you out. We're here to help you. So, the best thing you can do is to reach out with your wish list to your travel advisor to say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. What are my best options? We can do some research for you and give you your best deal. Now, of course, we're always looking for that best combination of either perks for you as well as pricing. So we will always look at our group rates and compare them with the non-group rates as well to be sure we're giving you the best value for the type of cruise and the conditions that you're looking for. Thank you very much. We can't hear you, Tina, if you're talking.
I was talking to myself, clearly. That was excellent. Thank you so much. I think that that was a really good explanation, and hopefully that shed some light on how we work. Obviously, you said we were fond of you all. It makes our work a little bit more difficult if you're coming in last minute and you're looking for something very specific. If you're coming in last minute, it's watch the Facebook post, let your agent know what you're watching for, and then just be ready to jump on it, like you said. I think that's the way to go with that. And I don't know if you guys saw, I posted one, I think it was yesterday, on the MSC Mirabilia, and it was just over $4,000 for 4 people out of New York. Now, there is no way, that's Christmas. There is no way that's going to last very long. I love that deal because, first of all, so many people in Ontario and East Coast could drive. They don't, 8 hours from Toronto, you can get over there. So you just saved yourself thousands and thousands of dollars on airfare. It's a beautiful ship. It's over Christmas, bring the kids. So yeah, that was a great deal, but I haven't checked it to see if it's still there. I'm sure you guys have had quite a few requests on that one. Is it gone now, Karen?
It's gone. I actually had a great client who was looking into it recently, and the price, it's still available, but the price is not the same at all. It's really, it's hard to explain why that happens because, we post a deal and it is accurate at the time of posting.
Yeah.
What happens after that is really out of our hands. We're really at the mercy of our cruise lines we're going to hold that deal for us for a while, but it's never promised. So if you're thinking about it, don't wait. Don't wait.
So yeah, you have to be quick. And that's not even a close-in one, because if I'm not mistaken, that was next year Christmas.
It was 26, exactly. Yeah.
So, sometimes it's just the cruise lines, they have, you have to think about it. They're filling thousands and thousands of cabins. So they have algorithms that run in the background. And it's like, okay, this ship should be at, 12% bookings and it's only at 11. So we're going to run this, we're going to drop the price for, until we get this many cabins, and then we're back on track. So I think that it's all run, in the background. I don't think there's anybody there going, increase the price, decrease the price. So I'm sure that, they don't, it's just about filling their ships to where they think they should be full at that time of the year. So I know right now, like the cruise lines are already talking about, 2026 is already a big chunk of it sold out. The cruises are definitely not hurting. That's for sure. So always, unless you can be very flexible, always good to, try and book out as far as you can anyways. So yeah, thank you. That was a great presentation. All right, so I am going to pass it over to Linda, who I think is going to want to do a giveaway.
You know, I love doing the giveaways. That's my favorite part of Cruise Chat, other than chatting in the comments with everybody. That's my second favorite thing to do. So tonight, I was just tidying my office and looking at what I had to give away. And tonight we are going to do another passport holder because I really like those, and they're lovely. And we haven't given too many of those away. So I'm just gonna switch over here and share my screen. Make sure that's showing. There it is. All right. So once again, as always, if we draw ourselves, we'll try again, but hopefully it is one of our viewers tonight. Hey, we won.
Yay!
I need a passport holder. Hey, Diane. Fantastic.
Congratulations.
All right. Congratulations, Diane. So we will. I was just going to say we will. I'll put my email into the comments, and you can just email me your mailing address, and we'll get that out to you.
Linda, do you want to do the questions, or do you want me to?
I am fine with doing the questions if you'd like me to.
Sure.
All right. So, our first question comes to us from Eleanor, and she wanted to know, can you bid to upgrade if you book under a group rate?
And the answer is absolutely yes.
That was an easy one. I like those ones. Rick didn't have to Google anything.
It's a good
answer. All right. Oops. Okay, the next question comes from Anne. She said, can you put your last minute deals on the Vacations for Canadians website? You have a drop-down menu, and I think putting them there would be good.
Yeah, so actually, I think if you go on our website and then put in the month, you could probably pull up last minute that way, right? Am I mistaken?
You should be able to.
Does someone want to screen share and do that and try it out?
Yeah, I'm just going on right now. Give me 1 second.
I just wonder if you put in like...
You just filter by month. That's right.
May, if you put in May, will it pull up May 25, 26, and 27?
I think you can actually go by year as well. You can use that.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then yeah.
And cruise line. It's fantastic. That tool is amazing.
Just take a look at that.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to do last minute because we would have to change the parameters of what it was pulling all the time.
Mm-hmm. Are you going on screen, Linda?
I'm trying.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Is it coming up? Nope.
No, I can see it in our admin area, but it's not coming up on the main screen.
Mm-hmm. Very strange. All right.
It's
well, I apologize. Oh, it wants me to add to stage.
Well, I removed it and then I'm adding to stage.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Sorry. Tech at its finest. So you can see here, you can just filter by month. So if you're, in April now and you're thinking you want to go away in May, and then you're saying May 2025, it's going to pull up all the deals that we've posted in. I think we leave them up about 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, but as Karen said, you may see this, but if it was posted a week ago, you might not be able to get that deal anymore, but you might be able to. So always inquire.
Yeah, but sometimes Facebook doesn't show you everything, so this might be a good place to go up. They're usually up there by about noon every day, I would say. Give or take. Linda, can you actually put that back up again? Because we did, if you look at the very last question that just came in, and I'll pop it on the screen there, maybe you can do that as well.
Is there an easy way to search or learn about repositioning cruises from your website? Do you post about them frequently on Facebook? Whoops, sorry, I gotta add to stage again. So we have Trans-Pacific. We would have Transatlantic if there was any available.
Take out the May and the year, and then
Oh,
you'll be able
right.
to
Yeah,
find
yeah,
it.
yeah. Whoops, sorry. See. Yeah, so there's some Trans-Pacific. I don't see any others that, oh, Transatlantic is there, so you could pick Transatlantic, and it would bring up any that were Transatlantic, and same for Trans-Pacific.
And as always, reach out to whatever agent you're working with. And because we can't post every deal that we find. I basically am just looking for the best ones. But there are probably a lot that you guys would like too that we can't put up every single one of them. So
Perfect.
Yeah, just to add to that, if anyone sees a specific itinerary that they really like, we always have group space and it may not be posted. So that's always available too. So always inquire.
So Megan is saying Transatlantic, Trans-Pacific equals repositioning. Is that a fair statement?
repositioning could be any port to a different port, whereas transatlantic is very specific. It's coming from Europe to North America, and Trans-Pacific is typically coming from Asia. I guess it would be from Australia too. Would they call that Trans-Pacific over to the West Coast?
But also you'll have repositioning cruise like Symphony of the Seas that's going from Miami or Fort Lauderdale to New York or Cape Liberty for the season. So they reposition them from one spot to the other depending on the season. So it's not always a trans-Pacific or a transatlantic. It could also be a ship that's moving from one port to the other to stay in that location for a period of time.
Let me just show this comment because sometimes we get fantastic deals if you're willing to go in and out of a different port, like start somewhere and end somewhere else. Sometimes they can be half the price.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to go back to our other questions here. So we have Megan, and she said, if a room says 4 people, but you don't want 4 people, can you pay the rate for the room, or would it be similar to a single supplement? Does anybody want to take that one? Matt, how about you?
Well, it's not the same as a single supplement. If you are booking a room that has 4 people because you want to pay that rate, then you can put like placeholders that would be a no-show for, like, say, guests 3 and 4 if you're doing a double occupancy. And then on your bill, you would still have the port taxes and fees. And then once you check in for the cruise and those additional guests don't show up, then the cruise line would refund you for the taxes and fees of the additional guests. So you would get the pricing of that quad that you were looking for, but with the amount of guests that you're showing up for, and you would just get back the additional taxes and fees.
And the other option is if it's a posted deal that has 2 adults, 2 children, or 4 passengers, we can also quote you for 3 passengers or 2 adults and a child, or one adult and 2 children. So we can also do that as well.
Yeah, it's usually cheaper, Megan, to take off 2 people unless the room requires that it has 4 in it, in which case then we would do what Matt was suggesting and have no shows. But usually if it says 4 people, we can get you a better price for 2. All you have to do is just email your agent or comment right on the Facebook post.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The only times where it's like that is if you, sometimes we'll post a deal that's really great because it's a quad occupancy, but that's because the double occupancy rooms are all sold out. So when someone says, I don't need 4, I only need it for 2, and then we tell you, like, look, that isn't available. If you wanted to get a double occupancy room, we have to bump you into a different category, and that one costs so much more money. So you'd be better off booking the quad, and then we just refund you the taxes and fees for those guests 3 and 4 once you check in, and then you could get that lower category at the better price point than a double occupancy at a much higher category.
Yep.
And that's why you guys are the experts.
It's
All right.
also
Our next
confusing.
So our next question comes from Anne. She says, I'm thinking about ones that are closer to the current date, I guess, up to 3 months out. So I guess that's not really a question. It's more of a comment. So the best thing to do, I think, as everyone mentioned, was either use our website deals page and you can filter them, or you can reach out directly to your agent and they can help you find one. All right. Next question. So this one comes from Adam. He said, was wondering if anyone has experience with the Splash of Romance package that Virgin offers. Is it worth the price? I think that Matt is just chomping
Matt
at the
wants
bit to answer this one.
I would, I mean, especially for us who have to work on the ship. I mean, we want to get on board as quickly as possible because we want to get our administration out of the way before any additional guests get on the ship. Because the more people that are on the ship, if you're trying to look after dining reservations or entertainment or anything like that, the sooner you can get on board, the sooner you can make reservations. Now, part of that bonus of having the Splash of Romance package is that you get priority boarding. You board at the exact same time as the suites guests. So you are the first ones on the ship. In addition to that, you get a spa access pass. So that is a 3-hour access pass to their spa, which is absolutely amazing. The other benefit of that is they have a perk on their ship that's called Shake for Champagne. That is something that's built into the app. You shake your phone and it prompts you to get a bottle of champagne ordered. It uses your location services of your app. It identifies where you are on the ship, and then the bottle of champagne is delivered to wherever you are, as long as it's not in the spa. But you have that benefit because the Splash of Romance includes that Shake for Champagne. So you get that. You get some hors d'oeuvres that are delivered to your room. You get fresh pressed juices every morning before 11 a.m. You get a cocktail reception that's just for Splash of Romance guests. So absolutely worth the price of it. The champagne and the priority boarding and the spa pass alone costs more than the Splash of Romance package. So 100%.
Can I also
Right.
just add that it actually sells out every cruise? That's what we've been told.
Okay, so we're going to say that's a hard yes, Adam.
Mhm.
All right. And next question comes from Megan. She said, you can get their emails too. That's how we got our killer deal for Icon. Yes, be sure to sign up for our e-news. Thank you for the plug there, Megan. We appreciate that. All right. So I'm not seeing any more questions, but I did notice that Megan had said earlier that she's only done a couple of cruise lines. So I thought it might be fun to go around the table, so to speak, and just get each of the agents to maybe speak to one of the cruise lines. Now, we know that you can't pick favorites because it's like picking your favorite kid, but if you want to maybe each speak to a different line that you've cruised on, and give people a sense of what they can expect. So maybe we'll start with Trisha, and then we'll go to Carrie, up to Matt, Rick, Luke, Karen, and then Tina.
Well, I've sailed on a few of them, and I won't say what my favorite is. I did really enjoy the Virgin cruise. I love the hammock on the balcony at night when you sit out there while you're cruising along and you're just rocking. You could sleep out there. The food is amazing. The entertainment, the vibe, everything is just incredible on Virgin.
And no kids.
And no kids.
So I'll do the opposite. So love Virgin, agree with that. But if you have kids and little kids, Disney is ultimate 5-star, top of the line. There's so much entertainment. You're waiting for your dinner, and Crush the Turtle is talking to your table. Very interactive, just like the theme park. Disney always does it right. So great cruise line. If you have kids or if you're just a Disney fanatic, you don't even need kids. It's a great cruise line.
I'm just going to add in there that I'm taking my adult daughter on Disney in a couple of weeks.
All right. We're going up to Matt.
So I'll go somewhere right in the middle there between Virgin and Disney, and I'll say Celebrity. I like the balance of both, refined dining options, amazing entertainment options, but great value, and at the same time, some nice perks that are put in there, as well as the fact that there are things for younger adults. There's things despite there being a lack of kids on there, I mean, there are still children, and having young children myself, I've seen how fantastic their kids program are with the kids that are on board. So I find it a real nice blend of all of them, which is great for families, especially where they want to have a little bit of variety of entertainment, nice dining options, and still have some great options for people of different ages.
Fantastic. Rick, how about you?
Well, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to select a whole category. We like river cruises. We did one last year, and we absolutely fell in love with it. It's the small ship experience. The excursions are all included. The food is great. The cabins are amazing. They're big, spacious. You can get there's 160 some odd people on the ship, and almost everybody by the end of the week. We really, really enjoy that, and they're all similar. All the river cruise lines that we represent, they're all good. We were on an Avalon. Ama Waterways is the same. So anyone you like, they're all good.
Fantastic. So if you're thinking you want to switch things up, river cruises could be a good option. All right. How about you, Luke?
Well, I think the hat says it all. Well, no, actually, you know what? Royal Caribbean has a lot of different activities and ships to cater to many demographic of people, whether you're a teenager, a young adult, a senior. They have ships that cater to just about everyone. The other thing too is, they do have some of the biggest ships in the world, as well as some of the smaller ones. Yes, they're old, but they do cater to different people. And of course, they are our supplier of the month, and many, and I'm sure Tina will talk about that a little later. But yeah, highly recommended to try Royal Caribbean if you haven't tried it.
Awesome, and thanks for the plug for Supplier of the Month. Appreciate
What
that.
is Karen going to pick?
What is Karen going to pick?
Well, there's a few that I could pick, but I'm going to go with Azamara.
I'm going to go. That's why I had a backup plan.
Well, going last is not easy, Tina. So hopefully you've got one or two in the wings. My choice is Azamara because I think that they've got a really great ship capacity at 630. It is a sweet spot. It's not too big, not too small. I love their immersive itineraries. I think they've done a really great job of being creative and really getting into the ports of call that some of the other bigger ships just simply can't get to. And I also love the value you get because you get your gratuities and your drink package included in it, as well as a really refined, amazing service. It's a luxury line, but kind of luxury casual is how I would describe it. So it's not stuffy. It is an amazing experience and one that I'm really, really grateful I got to try it last summer.
So what's your backup, Tina?
Okay, so this is about as hard of a question as when someone asks me what's my favorite place in the world, because every place is my favorite place. I can't tell you a place that I went to that I didn't fall in love with. So picking a cruise line, and I know we're not picking our favorite, but actually going to highlight one that's not necessarily as popular, and I'm going to go with Windstar. So I went on a Windstar sailing yacht. Their cruise line is very small. Their ships only have 150 to 300 people. We were actually on a sailboat. So, we got out of port and up went the sails, and it's just a great experience. They play the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song, and you've only got 100 and so people up on the top deck, and it was just amazing. The food, the service, the experience was unbelievable. Because the ship is so small, you can get into ports that you wouldn't be able to get into with some of the big cruise lines. So personally, we did the Costa Rica, and all we did was stay on the west coast of Costa Rica and stopped in the different ports there. They do a great French Polynesia, so that would get you into Bora Bora, which again, the big ships can't get into. They do some wonderful European itineraries. They also have, and I can't think of the word, but off the back of the ship where they open it up when you're at sea, and you can just take the kayaks out or go swimming, and it's open a lot. So even if you are in port that day, you might get back to the ship and they might open it up and you can actually go out and go swimming or go jump on the little trampoline thing out there. So just an amazing experience. I mean, maybe you've got a big anniversary or something coming up that you want to do something spectacular, or maybe you just enjoy the finer things in life. And personally, I didn't find it stuffy. I found it quite casual. I worry about using the word luxury because sometimes it comes off as stuffy, but in my experience, most of the luxury cruise lines that I've been on have been quite casual and just a bunch of like-minded people trying to have a good time on vacation.
Yeah, I was just typing in the comments here that your pictures from that trip made us so jealous. And I'm going to write, do you want to talk about Supplier of the Month? Just remind everybody what's happening so that if they're thinking about Royal Caribbean, in case they missed it.
Yeah, sure. Royal Caribbean is Supplier of the Month. We just started it yesterday, so it'll go to the end of April. We have a ton of things going on with our Supplier of the Month. So Linda will be sharing a giveaway every Friday where you swim platform. Thanks, Megan. Linda will share something that we're giving away, and you don't need to do anything except for just comment. She'll probably post a fun question on social media where you just have to comment, and then she'll do the draw from that. So lots of things to win from Royal Caribbean there. We also have a ton of ways to get extra perks this month with Royal Caribbean. So we have onboard credit up to $100 on most bookings, except for close-in sailings. But we have our new policy for last-minute cruises where we're doing Amazon gift cards. So whether you're getting onboard credit or an Amazon gift card, you're getting some kind of an extra perk. We do have specialty dining on 6+ night sailings, veranda and up, for any 2025, 2026 sailings. So that's fantastic because that's up to $150 value. What am I missing? I know we have a discount right now on the
chocolate and wine. Chocolate and wine.
Don't forget that. For 7 days only, I believe, we can add chocolate and wine to your booking. And I don't know the terms and conditions of that, so that whoever your agent is will have to let you know whether you qualify for that or not. I know we have a special discount for the Wonder of the Seas right now. I believe there is an airfare promotion going on with Europe and maybe Alaska. I'm not sure if that one. Royal Caribbean still has their kids free on, so that typically is any non-hot weeks. So it wouldn't include summer or March break or anything like that. But anytime, typically when the kids are in school, that's when so if you've got young ones and you can take them out of school, then do it while the other kids are in school, and you're going to get your kids on for just taxes and fees. We have our group rates. I mean, what do we have now with Royal Caribbean, guys? Like 400, 500 group rates? And that's not even, we don't even post them all because there's no way we could. We have our own group spaces that Karen was talking about, but then we have access to our consortia, which is travel leaders, and they actually book their own group space. And so we can actually access all of their group space as well. So we don't post any of that. We only post our own only because it's exclusive to us. Nobody can sell those except for us, you know. So we only got 6 agents. So yeah, it's all ours, right? But yeah, so you can actually find those on the website. We update that all the time on a daily basis. You can actually go and get those prices right off the website. You can book them right there on the website, or you can contact your agent. Either way, you're going to get an agent. So, okay. Did I miss anything about the Royal Caribbean?
I don't think so. I think if you're thinking about Royal, this is the month you want to book for sure. And we did get another question while we were talking about Royal about celebrity. So any info on the celebrity river cruises yet?
We know as much
I see
as
sad, no
we'll say
shakes.
that.
I'll reach out to you, Vivian, as soon as we get it.
Rick's got you covered.
Yeah. That's
All
exciting.
right.
Very exciting. We are, give a little bit of a sneak preview here, Linda. We are working on setting up an event for Royal Caribbean next month. So we can give you the date, but that's about all we can do right now. But you want to save the date for May 13th. So we are going to be having an in-person event, which we don't have a whole lot of them because, you know, we service all of Canada, and we even have Americans that use our agency, but we're going to give it a try, and hopefully it's a good turnout.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're in the planning stages and it's going to be super fun. So save the date on your calendar to come out and see us in person.
And you get to meet our agents, which is really fun. Okay, I guess that's it for questions. So next week we're going to have Lisa with us. So Lisa is our resident expert on travel insurance. She knows all things insurance. We do things a little differently than most agencies in that we don't necessarily do insurance ourselves. We have an agent on our staff who just does insurance, and that way she knows all the ins and outs. So she will be here to do our presentation, and she'll be on the panel next week. So yeah, join us for that. That's a great topic. All right. Okay. Well, there's our contact info if you want to get a hold of us. As always, you can email your agent directly. No need to go through these hoops of emailing in our sales or calling in. If you've got your agent's information, feel free to get a hold of them directly. And if you don't have an agent yet, feel free to send us a message on any of our platforms, and we'd be happy to find you one. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay warm, and we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Night, everyone.